So here it is, the top 10 what-ifs in wrestling history according to Uno Brainless. Number 10, Cousin Jay, what if Mr. Kennedy did not lose the Money in the Bank briefcase due to injury?
Subscribe!
Number 9, this one's a good one, actually. Number 9, the Mauler of Meatloaf. Cousin Jay, what if Cassius Ohno was in the Shield instead of Roman Reigns?
They would not have been the PWI top 3 this year.
No, you're right. Cassius Ohno, I don't even think even cracked the top 1,000. So,
yeah, I mean, top 1 in catering.
Yeah, the only thing he top 500 in was the amount of Golden Corrals he's been to.
Boom.
Number 8, Cousin Jay, what if William Regal never tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs after winning the King of the Ring about well over a decade ago?
I loved when he turned off the lights on the audience.
Yes. We have loved that for many years on this podcast. Number 7, this one kind of hits a little close to home. What if CM Punk had just re-signed like a good soldier back in 2011? We never got the pipe bomb in that moment at Money in the Bank, 2011. Cousin Jay, when it comes to what ifs, that is the easiest one to answer. If we had never gotten the Summer of Punk in 2011, we would have gotten what we really deserved to have gotten, which was the Summer of R-Truth in 2011. I love Phil Brooks. I love Pepsi Phil, CM Punk. I would love to see him back in WWE. I 100% side with him over everything else that Twinkle Toes and the Young Cucks have done in AEW. But that is one thing I will never, ever, ever forgive Pepsi Phil for. Costing everybody the greatest summer in wrestling history.
Yes.
Number 6, Cousin Jay, what happens if WWE did not future endeavor Cody Rhodes in 2016? We never would have gotten AEW. We wouldn't be having Jon Moxley blading himself on a nightly basis and wrestling against a bunch of jabronis. We don't
or getting dropped on his head a couple times.
We'll get into that in a little bit after this. But I just think about that. If Cody Rhodes, that's got to be a top one right there. I might have undersold it at 6, but I mean that's pretty big.
Huge.
And speaking of big, number 5, Cousin Jay, what if Scott Hall and Kevin Nash never left WWF to go to WCW? Never would have gotten the NWO, or if we did, we would have gotten the NWO, which would have been Hulk Hogan, the Nasty Boys, and the Boogeyman.
I'm gonna get you.
Or the Boogie Dude, or whatever it was that they did with the
Booty Man?
The Booty Man. I'm sorry. Thank you. The Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman was WWE.
Yes, I remember. One of the worst matches in WrestleMania history when he shoved the worms down Charmel. That's why Booker T got such a raw deal at WrestleManias. Ugh. Breaks my heart because I love Booker T so much.
Yeah.
Number 4, Cousin Jay, what if the Montreal Screwjob never happened? And they just let Bret Hart drop the title when he said he was going to drop the title. In my heart of hearts, I really don't think Bret Hart was going to do to the WWF Championship what Medusa did to the Women's Championship on Nitro. Sorry. I've been a fan of Bret Hart's for a very long time. I find it hard to believe that he would have done something like that.
Right.
There's no way Stu Hart's son would have done that. I'm sorry. All right, Cousin Jay, number 3. I know how you feel about this. I know how I feel about this. This has been probably, of all the things in this top 10 list, has been mentioned the most.
Okay.
What if John Cena at the SummerSlam in 2010 put over the Nexus?
Wade Barrett might still be wrestling. But then we probably don't get Bad News Barrett, which I enjoyed.
We might not have gotten Bryan Danielson either, or Daniel Bryan.
Right.
It was funny, too, because originally I was going to put what if Daniel Bryan had just been fired in 2010 and not brought back, but then I was like, nah, the Nexus is more hurtful for me. Because Daniel Bryan could have won that match in 2010 by himself, and it would have made a lot more sense. I would have been more forgiving if Daniel Bryan was the one that no-sold the DDT outside the ring than John Cena. Because it would have been a gutsy performance by the young up-and-coming star who's about to take over WWE by storm.
You know who didn't no-sell a DDT was Timmy's brother, Teddy. He took it like a champ.
I took a DDT once, and I don't remember much after it.
Yeah.
Didn't realize you were supposed to, yeah, I was Moxley that day. Number 2, Cousin Jay. What if, in January of 1999, if Tony Schiavone had not mentioned that Mick Foley was about to win the WWF Championship on Monday Night Raw?
Yeah, that'll put butts in the seats.
AKA the turning point in the Monday Night Wars.
The last time WCW... Actually, I think it was the first time in 83 weeks WWF had beaten WCW.
That is the reason why Mick Foley is God. And do you want to take a guess at what you think my number 1 is, or have an idea of who might be involved in my number 1?
Owen Hart.
Cousin Jay, what if Owen Hart was never the Blue Blazer? I could have been more morbid about it, but I decided to keep it as PG as possible.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. If it wasn't the Blue Blazer, if Vince didn't want him to do the stupid stunt, if they didn't want to try to save a couple of seconds by making it as unsafe as humanly possible, and Owen Hart was still with us today, I am still convinced in my heart of hearts that with the incoming wrestlers, Eddie Guerrero, the big piece, Voldemort of professional wrestling, redacted, and the goat of goats, who has goated more than goats have ever goated in the history of Goatdom, who Owen Hart happens to be his favorite wrestler and his idol, Chris Jericho. Owen Hart would have had a career resurgence in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it would have been wonderful. We missed out on what would have been the greatest television in history the first time Chris Jericho and Owen Hart had a face-to-face with microphones.
Yeah. There are a couple other things here people have commented with as far as what ifs. What if Curtis Axel became a Paul Heyman guy that was over? What if Curtis Axel was actually eliminated from the Royal Rumble?
Stop, because I don't know what for 327 episodes of this podcast would be if it wasn't for the fact that F and Mark's Hall of Fame is still in the 2015. I can't, Jay. Great, who posted that? I need to know who posted that.
It was Tim.
Timmy, I just want
F
you to
and Mark's
know.
Hall of Famer Tim.
Timmy, I just want you to know I will be having a sleepless night tonight thinking about the fact that Curtis Axel was actually eliminated from the 2015 Royal Rumble. I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm going to be in bed all night staring at the ceiling thinking about that.
Tim also brought up something kind of close to what you're talking about. What if Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho did not break up? You know, you talked about somebody who loved Owen Hart. You got two people there who loved Owen Hart, and they loved each other. They even had a painting with them touching each other. Their fingers, just like on the Sistine Chapel.
I understand, but at the grand scheme of things, of all the years that I've been watching WWE, I've been watching WWE since before Monday Night Raw was even a thing. So I've watched 30 plus years of Monday Night Raw. The Festival of Friendship is a top 10 moment in Monday Night Raw history. So if they had not broken up, we never would have gotten that with the wonderful picture and all that stuff.
Yes. All right. Tim also had, what if Owen Hart never dropped? I'm sorry. This is Chris Brown. What if Owen Hart did not drop Stone Cold Steve Austin on his head?
I was going to put that on the list. I didn't want to put Owen on there twice. No, sorry. People might forget Steve Austin could actually wrestle before he broke his neck in that match. Steve could actually go. But after he broke his neck, they wanted to play it safe with him. And instead of him taking a lot of these bumps and doing a lot of crazy shit, they just made him the ass kicker. Granted, with his character, it worked. But we could have gotten a hell of a lot longer out of Steve Austin. That one bothers me. Because I was thinking about that. Or what if Steve Austin had not joined forces with Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 17? I probably would have gotten more of Heidenreich in my life, but that's about it. I wouldn't have missed all of Chris Nowinski's entire career. On the flip side, though, I do have to thank Vince McMahon for having Steve Austin join forces with him, because I miss Billy and Chuck and Katie Vick. And I don't regret missing both of those.
Yeah?
Yeah. But yeah, some of those, yeah. God damn it. Now I'm going to be thinking about Curtis Axel being eliminated in 2015 Royal Rumble. I don't know who will be here for 3,162 days. What have we even done, Jay? What would we have done? We're not going to put Hornswoggle.
No. We're not going to put Mil Mascaris.
I got that 97 Royal Rumble. He eliminated himself. I know for a fact that man is not alive in the 1997 Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
He literally eliminated himself because he was so much of an ego-driven dude that he couldn't let somebody eliminate him from a Royal Rumble.
Chris Brown is asking, who has that painting, I wonder, of Jericho and Kevin Owens?
You could ask Top Dollar. I'm sure he's got a lot of free time on his hands.
Sad.
Which is a shame, because I actually like Top Dollar, and it's mainly because of the fact that he once upon a time played for the Giants for like a cup of coffee. That and that show, the collection show that they did, where they were trying to find all the collectible stuff from the years of wrestling. He was so good as the host on that. I'm really upset that they actually let him go. Damn it.